Hello, this is BSKIA, and I just, after seeing ETA do a video for the Pandora's box, I actually ordered one from China. I ordered this one from 3A, and this is the quote-unquote official company. There are a lot of 3A Pandora's box bootlegs. I'll call them bootlegs because someone said these are all knockoffs of actually arcade machines, so I'll call it a bootleg. So this is the family version. So what they call the family version, this one is supposed to actually also operate as a PlayStation and Xbox controller. I've done testing. This does not work at all as an Xbox 360 controller. It works as a PlayStation 3 controller because I've tested it on Street Fighter 4. However, the home button does not work, and the select back button does not work, and this D-pad left stick toggle doesn't have a function, but the joystick works fine. I rewired this and I added new buttons. So these are the original buttons it came with, this pink and these blue, and then I actually changed the joystick and I changed these buttons. So this is a Sanwa, these are Sanwa buttons. This is the Sumitsu, and these are Sumitsu buttons. So let's look inside. This is all metal, and if you get the regular Pandora's box 5 that doesn't say family, then this is going to be an orange box, and it's going to have a JAMA connector here, and then the JAMA connector is going to come up and it's going to connect to all these buttons here. So this one has this IDE ribbon style cable, and then it has this here, and you can actually watch a video of 3A put one of these together. So again, I have a Sumitsu and I have a Sanwa, and you can even see here, so this here, right, this button right here, this is actually the add coin button, and you'll see here that there's no plug on this button here because you can't actually access that button from the top of the machine. There's nothing there. However, I've noticed on the 3/3 version that both players, you can actually even feel a little indentation here, both players actually have a coin. You can do coin on both sides on the regular 3/3. So when you get this, this particular version of the Pandora's box seems to be very heavy into the King of Fighter. So when you first get this, this version, which is the 4/4, which I don't recommend you get. Don't pay the extra money for it. These buttons are mapped as A, B, C, D, E, and then it comes back here, F. And these two buttons here don't work at all. So even when you remap these inside the Pandora's box architecture, when you're actually playing it on their system, these two buttons don't do anything. So I actually had to rewire, and what I did was these two buttons were dead. I rewired it so that these two buttons are dead and that these work. So this is now A, B, C, D, E, F. So again, this one's, I paid $230 plus 90. I'm sorry, 230. Sorry, 200 and. Okay, so I paid $233 for this version. It's Iron Man, that's Wolverine, that's Ryu, that's Chun-Li. So $233 for this version. That included $90 shipping, and then I think these buttons cost me an additional $30. These are all authentic Sumitsu, authentic Sanwa. And again, I wouldn't recommend this version. Again, this is not a JAMA board, so it's IDE. I mean, it works okay, but I would have actually have liked the JAMA, because then I could have actually used this on like a home arcade system. As it is, I can only use it for systems that can use USB controllers. It costs extra, and these two extra buttons weren't worth it. And in pictures of the regular version of the Pandora's box, I believe it's probably L2 right trigger, R2 right trigger. I believe these two buttons are up here. So most likely on those versions, you probably still have access to these buttons up here. So if you were using them for a Raspberry Pi, or if you were using them to emulate on your PC, you probably would still have access to these buttons. So again, it's not worth it paying the extra. Also, I want to say, I've seen a few people do reviews of Pandora's Box 5Ss, 6Ss, 6s, which 3A is not up to that revision yet. But those versions seem to work fine. The games seem to work fine. And one thing that I liked is, on some of those versions, people can add games. You can't add games to this version. This version is locked down. You can't add any games. Another thing I liked is they had save states. When you play a game, you could save where you're at, turn the system off, turn it back on, and continue. This one you can pause it, but you have to leave it plugged in. Leave it turned on, burning your electricity. So that's another reason why some of the other versions may actually be better for you. I wanted to get the authentic 3A version, but I didn't know about all of those things. And again, I didn't know that it wasn't going to function as a controller the way that they said. So I showed this in another video. But again, this is their instructions on what you have to do. And I've tried it with it powered on. I've tried it with it powered off. And these home buttons do not work in either mode. So again, I would not say get the 3A version unless you just want to get the 3A version or want to support them in some way. But I would not say spend that extra money, because you can get one of the bootleg Pandora's box. They got the little R here. You can get one of the bootleg Pandora's boxes for less than what I paid. So I've seen some of those maybe for $120 with free shipping. So you can get one of these with the free shipping. And again, when you power it up, this lights up, this lights up. But I mean, that's really just gimmicky. And then they do have a version where you can get all these buttons to light up. But I mean, you can actually buy a cheap version, and you can actually buy buttons that light up, and you can do all of this yourself. So again, I saw ETA Prime did a video on these, and he had the other version with the 3/3, and only one other person had a review talking about these, but they didn't mention whether or not the buttons worked for the game system. But as I said, the PlayStation 3, the home and select back don't work, and on the Xbox 360, it doesn't work at all. I can't get the Xbox 360 to recognize this as a controller at all. So again, this is BSKIA, the big stupid know-it-all, and thanks for watching. And sorry this is so rough and crude video, but it's my first YouTube video. And thanks. Have a great day. Here are their instructions for how to connect to the PlayStation 3 and for all the buttons to function. As you can see here, it's a few typos here. However, I'm gonna try and see if I can get this thing to work on the PlayStation 3. I'm gonna leave it powered on. I still have the USB out so that the games won't load. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna plug it back in, and then I'm gonna see if this works.